My name is Sophie, and until a few evenings ago, I was convinced my family cared for me deeply. It all began with a single notification. My cousin sent me a video. I was preparing dinner when my phone pinged. Wiping my hands on a dishcloth, I picked it up and tapped the message without much thought. Initially, I assumed it was something lighthearted, a nostalgic family clip perhaps. But then I heard my mother's voice. Sophie should be thankful. She'd be nowhere without us. My heart sank. The footage was unsteady, as if someone had accidentally left their phone recording, yet the voices were unmistakable. "She's such a pitiful failure," my father chimed in, his tone laced with amusement. "At least she's useful for something, covering our expenses." Laughter followed. My grip on the phone tightened. "If Sophie ever stops sending money," my cousin, the one who sent the video, added with a smug edge, "we'll just guilt her into it. She's too weak to refuse." My entire body felt numb. Sophie, my name. They weren't talking about some imaginary person. They were talking about me. For years, I'd been supporting them, paying their rent, clearing their debts, sacrificing my own savings to ensure they never struggled as I had. And this was their true opinion of me. I stood frozen, my thumb hovering over the screen when suddenly the video vanished. "This message has been deleted." I stared at the notification. My cousin must have realized her error and deleted it, hoping I hadn't seen it. I could have confronted her right then, called her out, exposed their betrayal. But instead, I set my phone down and acted as if nothing had happened. That's when I made a choice. I wouldn't react immediately. I had a plan. For what felt like hours, I sat staring at my phone. Their words echoed in my mind. Sophie should be thankful, a pitiful failure, too weak to refuse. I wanted to believe it was a misunderstanding, a cruel joke, or that there was context I didn't know. But deep down, I knew the truth. They meant every word. The worst part, they weren't entirely wrong about one thing. I had been too weak to say no. How many times had I let them manipulate me into helping? How often had I put my life on hold to ensure they had what they needed? My dad's temporary financial troubles became years of me covering rent. My sister's tuition, she never even graduated. My mom's endless emergencies, always timed perfectly with my paychecks. I'd done it all without question, believing that's what family did. That video shattered every illusion I held. They thought they'd gotten away with it, my cousin unsending the message, probably thinking I hadn't seen it. Maybe she even reassured the others, "Don't worry, Sophie didn't watch it." They believed I was still clueless. That was my leverage. I could have texted her then, confronted her, told her I knew everything. But what would that achieve? They'd deny it, make excuses, twist it to make me feel guilty. If they thought I was still their naive, compliant cash source, I'd let them believe it, for now. Because in a few days, the next payment was due, and this time, things would be different. The next morning, I went through my routine, but everything felt altered. The sunlight filtered through my blinds, my coffee brewed as usual, but there was a new awareness. My phone buzzed, a message from my mom. "Mom, morning, darling. Just checking in, hope you're okay." I stared at the text. It was too normal. She never messaged just to check in. There was always an ulterior motive. Sure enough, a minute later, "Mom, oh, by the way, rent's due soon. Can you send it by Thursday?" There it was, the same pattern. But this time I wasn't playing along. I typed a response, my fingers pausing over the keys. Normally, I'd reply with "of course" or "no problem," maybe even apologize for any delay to avoid inconveniencing them. Not today. I deleted my draft and wrote me, "I can't this month." I hit send and set my phone down, waiting. 1 minute. 2. Then buzz, "Mom, what do you mean you can't?" I could sense her irritation through the screen. I'd never refused before. I didn't reply immediately. Instead, I sipped my coffee, letting her simmer in confusion. More messages followed. "Mom, Sophie, this is serious. We're relying on you. You know we have no other options." Another buzz. My cousin this time. "Cousin, hey, sweetie, your mom's panicking. Everything okay?" I nearly laughed. "Everything okay?" Sure, everything was fine for me. I'd spent years funding their lives, and the one time I hinted at stopping, they lost it. Not once did they ask if I was okay, if I needed support. It was never about me. I took a deep breath and replied, "Me, I have some unexpected costs this month. Can't send anything. Sorry," that was it. No elaboration, no groveling. Then I waited. Their response, or lack thereof, told me everything. Silence. For the first time in years, I'd said no, and they didn't know how to react. I watched the 3 dots appear and vanish as my mom typed, stopped, typed again. I could picture her fuming, trying to craft the perfect guilt trip. Finally, her message came through. "Mom, Sophie, what do you mean unexpected costs? What could be more important than your family?" The classic guilt trip. Then another, Mom, you know your sister can't cover rent. If she gets evicted, that's on you. The sister card, predictable. Then another, Mom, we raised you, Sophie. We supported you when you had nothing. Is this how you repay us? My jaw clenched, my fingers gripping the phone. When I had nothing, they never supported me. I worked multiple jobs to escape that house, put myself through college. The moment I had money, they clung to me, draining every cent. Another buzz, my cousin again. Cousin Sophie, sweetheart, don't do this. We're family, your mom's just upset. Send the rent and it'll all be fine. Fine for who? I set my phone down, my pulse racing. I needed a moment to breathe. I poured a glass of water, sipped it slowly, and stared at the clock. Something shifted inside me. For years, I'd feared this moment, feared that if I stopped paying, they'd hate me, abandon me. But now, I knew the truth. They never loved me, they loved what I provided. And when that stopped, they'd show their true colors, buzz. I picked up my phone, a message from my father. Dad, Sophie, I don't know what's gotten into you, but this is unacceptable. You're being selfish. This family needs you and you're acting like a spoiled child. Do the right thing. The mask was off. No more fake affection, just demands. Then another notification, a voice message from my cousin. My hands shook as I hesitated, my thumb over the play button. Something told me this would change everything. I paused, staring at the play button. A voice message from my cousin wasn't typical. She usually sent sugary, passive-aggressive texts to guilt me. This felt different. I pressed play. Her voice was sharp, impatient. Sophie, listen. I don't know what you're trying to pull, but this isn't cute. Your mom's losing it, your dad's furious, and honestly, I get it. You've always been, well, ungrateful, but this is next-level selfish. My stomach nodded, but I kept listening. You've got a decent job, right? You earn more than any of us, you don't even need that money. Meanwhile, your family's struggling and you just decide you're done. You owe them, Sophie. After everything they've done for you, all their sacrifices. They gave you everything, and now you're just going to turn your back, pretend they don't exist. What kind of daughter does that? A bitter laugh. If you want to be that person, fine, but don't expect forgiveness. Don't think you can crawl back when you realize you need them. Once you cross this line, there's no going back. The message ended. Silence. I let her words sink in, my thumb still over the replay button. My heart pounded, but I didn't feel fear or panic. I felt calm, free. She'd confirmed everything. They didn't love me, didn't respect me. I was just a resource, and when I stopped giving, I was worthless to them. If that was the case, it was time to be worthless. Another buzz, my mom again. Mom, last chance, Sophie, send the rent. I stared at the message for a long time. Then I blocked her. I blocked my dad. I blocked my cousin. For the first time in years, I felt free, or so I thought. The next day, my sister showed up at my door. The knock startled me. It was early, too early for visitors. The sun was barely up. I considered ignoring it, hoping it was a delivery or a neighbor. But another knock, louder, more urgent, told me otherwise. I took a deep breath, braced myself, and opened the door. There she was, my sister, Lily. Her face was a mix of anger and desperation, her clothes disheveled, eyes red and wild. Are you kidding me, Sophie? Her voice cut like a knife. What's wrong with you? I kept my expression neutral. Good morning to you too, she scoffed, running a hand through her tangled hair. Don't play coy, you blocked everyone. Mom's freaking out, Dad's losing it. You're just what? Cutting us off. Acting like we don't exist? I crossed my arms, leaning against the doorframe. Maybe I'm just tired of being treated like a bank account. Her jaw tightened. Oh, please, not this again. You've been paying our rent for years, covering bills, even my gym membership. And the one time you say no, you act like we've committed some crime. I laughed bitterly. Lily, I've paid for your life while you've done nothing. The one time I set a boundary, Mom calls me selfish. Dad says I'm unacceptable, and you show up here like I've betrayed you. I saw the video. Her face paled, fear flickering in her eyes. What video? I smirked, cold and unyielding. You know exactly what video. You all laughed, called me a failure, said I should be grateful to pay your bills. Do you know how that feels? To hear your own family talk about you like that? She shifted, looking away, her hands clenching. It wasn't serious, okay? We were joking, you're overreacting. Joking? My voice was low, sharp. You sat there mocking me, saying I'm too weak to say no. Do you know what it's like to hear that from your own family? She exhaled, rubbing her face. Sophie, come on. No, you come on. I cut her off. You want money, get a job. You want someone to take care of you, find someone else. I'm done. Silence. She stared at me, something raw crossing her face for a moment before it hardened. You don't mean that, she muttered. I do. I held her gaze, unflinching. Her expression turned ugly. Fine, she spat. Be a selfish jerk, but don't come crawling back when you realize you're alone. With that, she turned and left. I watched her go, my chest tight but my resolve firm. She was wrong, I wasn't alone, I had myself. I closed the door, exhaling shakily. Then my phone buzzed again. My mom's name flashed on the screen. I wasn't going to answer, not this time. I'd been under her thumb for too long, her demands, her guilt trips, the way she weaponized my sense of duty to keep me tethered. No more. I flipped the phone face down and walked away. I was done being their endless source of money, their safety net when they couldn't bother to stand on their own. Done with the lies, the manipulation. They'd never asked how I was, never cared about the toll it took on me to carry their weight. I'd supported my mom, my dad, my sister, all of them acting like I owed them my life. But no one had ever asked what I needed. Now I was taking charge, but my decision didn't go unnoticed. The next morning, the silence in my apartment felt heavy. The weight of my choice settled in, but there was no regret. I'd done the right thing. Then the doorbell rang. It was Lily again. I knew it from the sharp, impatient knock. I opened the door slowly, my face blank. "Sophie," she began, her usual arrogance replaced with something almost desperate. "You need to hear me out." I didn't let her in. I stood firm in the doorway. "I don't need to hear anything, Lily." She blinked, caught off guard. "No, you don't get it. Mom's freaking out. Dad's calling me asking what's happening. They don't know how to fix this. You've cut us off. You can't just leave us like this." I scoffed. "I'm sorry, did you think I'd keep enabling you, keep paying for your rent, your bills, and pretending everything's fine? No, Lily, I'm done being your ATM. Her eyes flashed with anger. "You're acting like we've never done anything for you, like we're just leeches." I didn't back down. "That's exactly what you are. I've been your cash machine, your free ride, and I'm done." Her fists clenched. "You'll regret this. You'll regret cutting us off." I laughed, cold and steady. "No, Lily, you'll regret it because I don't need you anymore." I slammed the door in her face. It felt liberating, but I knew this wasn't the end. That night my phone buzzed again. A message from my dad. "Dad, we raised you, Sophie. Don't think you can just walk away from everything we've done for you. You're making a mistake. Come back, we'll talk." I could hear the desperation in his words. I could have ignored it, blocked him too, but I had a better idea. I wasn't just going to block them, I was going to make them face the consequences of their actions. I opened my laptop and started typing. I compiled every financial record, every payment I'd made for their bills, every transfer, every check I'd sent to bail them out. I attached them to an email with a note. "Here's a record of everything I've done for you. I'm done being your lifeline. I won't let you guilt me into giving more. Consider this my final statement. You don't owe me anything, but you owe yourselves the truth about how much I've sacrificed, thinking family meant supporting each other, not draining one another." Then I opened the family group chat, filled with their complaints and demands. I scrolled through their messages, their claims of needing me, their guilt trips. Then I typed, "You've talked a lot about what you've done for me, but you've ignored what I've given up for you. You never needed me, you used me, I'm done. This is my last message, don't contact me again." I sent it. The silence that followed was almost serene. I leaned back, letting the weight of my actions settle. No more calls, no more manipulation, no more pretending they had control over me. They could keep their lies and empty promises. I was free. But then one last message from Lily. "You're making a mistake, Sophie. You'll regret this." Family sticks together. I smiled. She was trying to get under my skin, but it didn't work. I didn't need them. I had my life, my freedom. It wasn't the explosive confrontation I'd imagined, but it was better, quiet, deliberate, powerful. They no longer had any hold over me. As I turned off my phone for the night, a sense of calm washed over me. I didn't have to play their game anymore. I didn't have to sacrifice myself for people who didn't value me. It wasn't revenge in the traditional sense. It was quieter, more intentional, and far more satisfying. Now I could finally breathe. And the best part, I could live for myself. That was the sweetest victory. Wow, what a journey, huh? It's incredible to think about everything Sophie went through. I admire how she refused to let her family's drama and guilt break her. Instead of a big showdown, she quietly took back her power. Sometimes, the best way to fight back isn't with a scene, but by reclaiming your life and proving you're not a pushover. Not everyone would have handled it like that, though. Some might say she should have tried to salvage the relationship or given them another chance. Others might think cutting them off completely was the right move. What's your take? Do you agree with Sophie's decision? Was her quiet approach satisfying or too drastic? Let me know in the comments. I'd love to hear your thoughts.